This is part 2 of the MR2 fault finding. Obviously in the last video I pretty much solved it, but there's a couple of things that I wanted to check just to be on the safe side, just because I can't get out of my head otherwise, and I don't like not covering all bases. People's even mentioned it in the comments already, and the video's only been up about 12 hours. I actually mentioned it. I filmed me talking about it and then I deleted it from the video. I didn't add it because in my opinion it wasn't going to happen. But a restrictive inlet can cause compressor surge, because it basically would be causing the turbo to kind of be sucking in a vacuum, which generally speeds it up, which would bring it into surge possibly. Not the most common way of compressor surge happening, but it's a possible. So yeah, I think it's very unlikely, because this filter's good for twice the airflow the turbo can do, and generally a pipe will only suck shut even without any bracing to stop it if that's restrictive. So, and considering this turbo was doing 2.5 bar boost and the surge was going away above 4.5 grand, I'm 99% sure this pipe is not sucking shut in any way. But you know, people's mentioned it, and people, you know, and it's bugging me anyway, so I've tried it. Well, I'm trying it. So I need to check two parts suck in. This bit at the bottom, this first elbow, this is the most likely because it's a bit nearest to turbo and it's the smallest. Or this bit here, which is incredibly unlikely, but let's do it. I'm going to do this filming, you know, checking, I mean, by filming it, so you can see what I can see. I'm going to literally cable tie the GoPro in whatever place, 2 different places, to film the underside of that pipe or the side of that pipe, whatever, and then roughly this view here, because that's the only places it can suck in. I'm fairly certain we're not going to see anything, but let's try. And a third thing I want to film, because I'm 99% sure it will be happening, is I want to film the actuator at full boost as well, because in my opinion the at full boost that isn't being fully open or anywhere near, which is what's causing the surge. It needs to be more open, because obviously what goes in has to come out. So yeah, we will see, but that's purely a tuning thing, because I've proved the everything works. These two things aren't a tuning thing, but I think they're incredibly unlikely. In my sort of best guess at the moment, the actuator was the problem initially, which was causing it to overboost. Now that's fixed, the mapper should be able to do the rest. But I want to check, because I don't want him, you know, saying whatever don't work again. What, you know, I just want it to be mapped. I want it to rock up, do the mapping, good times, go. So yeah, let's do a bit of filming and we'll find out what's doing what. Also note, the actuator has now got a pin on the arm, so it can no longer fall off, which is nice. both parts of the intake pipe filmed, and no, they don't suck in at all. They're absolutely fine. So it's not that. You know, I would have put money it wasn't that anyway, hence why I didn't do it in the first video, even though I actually, the start of the video I was discussing it, and then I deleted it once the results came through from the other tests I did, because I thought it wasn't relevant. It's not going to happen, but it's not happening. Basically, I've checked it now, so that's that. The only other test I want to do, because I cannot think of anything else, is I'd like to film the actuator position at full boost when it's surging, because this is in fully open. Fully closed is touching the stop screw. I want to see where it is, you know, at full whack, because in my opinion it's too far closed. The thing is, you need, spool will come from more power, so more fuel, or from that being more closed. And it's possible, you know, I'm not a mapper, so I don't know this for sure. I would have to do some mapping to check, but in my head I do feel that if you was fighting to make it as clean and as lean as possible, for any given amount of spool, you would need the vanes closed more, which is, or any given amount of boost, you would need the vanes closed more for that spooler. Whereas if you had fuel, extra fuel, it would need a bit less, because extra heat from the fuel, because that's the thing, diesels run backwards to petrols. Petrols, you run lean, they get hotter. Diesels, you run them lean, they get cooler. Fuel is what, and rich mixtures is what melts a diesel. Rich mixtures on a petrol doesn't, it cools them down if anything. So yeah, it's possible the aiming to keep it clean means the vanes are too far closed, which in turn is restricting the exhaust side, which in turn creates a surge. I don't know that for sure, but I would like to see the vane position when at full throttle high revs to see what's going on. Hopefully the sound of, you know, recorded from the GoPro will be able to give us an idea of RPM and if it's surging and that kind of stuff, because obviously I can't see RPM when it's pointing at the fucking actuator arm like this. So yeah, let's rig that up. But one test complete, final test is this. I'm fairly sure now. The previous problem, you know, like I said, previous problem was because the actuator was coming loose and basically working itself closed. Still blows my mind. I worked with actuators fucking 20 plus years and never seen that vibrate like that in like a matter of seconds. But anyway, I think it was just that, and then the rest is purely mapping, so that's fixed and the rest will be mapping. But I would like to see this just so all bases are covered, no fucking questions or excuses or fucking what ifs. It's like everything has been looked at. And all the testing done. The actuator, you know, the VNT actuator arm video in, very interesting in a weird way. It didn't stay fully closed or anything, which is kind of obvious, because otherwise it wouldn't rev out. It did open a fair bit, but the movement of the arm was like fucking constant, and I don't know if that's right. It's not on a conventional turbo. I haven't watched the actuator on a VNT turbo to know, but to me that's not good for stable boost control, and that's, you know, and if the vanes are constantly opening and closing, the fucking the turbo is going to be changing speed constantly, which is fucking, well, gonna surge. Surge is kind of, you know, what causes the problem when surging is the uncontrolled fucking speed change of the wheels. That's why it does damage, because it'll go like, you know, spikes up and down all over the place. So I don't know. That one I cannot answer, because I'm not, without doing more research. But again, this is just all info to show everybody and show the tuner as well. So look, it's like, this is doing this, this is doing this, this is doing this, because you can have all the info you like on your laptop, what the sensors and everything are telling you, but that don't mean they're correct, or that it can't be misinterpreted as something different. And that's the thing. If it was like just some shit mapper, I'd be like, wow, it's all his fault. But he's not. He's genuinely fucking good. He's like who I would get to tune my diesel, I'd say, in my experience. But he's not the one. He can't see these things while he's sitting there glued to his laptop, you know. And I'm the fucking tuning and turbo geek. I'm just not the electronics geek. So, you know, what I see is going to be different to what he sees. So yeah, this is going to be part 2 of this video. So yeah, but that is realistically every fucking base covered on this. Everything's done now. I really like how this thing drives. It does feel fast. It's just I'm so used to fast cars, and it handles the speed so well until you realise how fast you're coming up to corners, and it's like, oh shit. Because yeah, mid-engine, you know, these cars just do handle the power and performance really easily, and then yeah, it's like, whoa, we're going bloody fast here. So yeah, that's it for this video, I think. So I hope you liked it. I enjoyed finding out, you know, problems. But yeah, it's a fucking cool car. It's got some, like, the hardtop Alps, black Alps, I like black cars, and my shitty temporary number plate, because we can't, the real one's in there somewhere, I can't remember where. And it's just got the lips and all that shit on it, and it's nice wheels, and it needs a clean. It's filthy, but generally it's a very tidy car, and it's cool. I don't like the optional spoiler these things have got, because in my opinion it's in the wrong place. I don't like any spoiler on these cars if you watch my videos, so they never look right. But yeah, that's part 2 of the fault finding. Maybe there'll be a part 3 on this car once the mapper has solved the final issues. I mean, maybe when he sees this, he might look at it and be like, yeah, that actuator's should be doing that. There's something wrong with the something or other. But we fitted, this is the second N75 valve we fitted on this, as in the boost controller, boost solenoid, and they've both given the same sort of boost levels, so pretty sure it's nothing to do with that. It's got to realistically be, unless there was some kind of wiring issue, but I don't understand wiring, a software issue, mapping, whatever. Anyway, we're getting somewhere. We're ticking off boxes, and this is the proper way of fault finding, not what a lot of these tuners do and just, oh, it's broken, just throw part, you know, fire the parts cannon at everything. So yeah, I mean, I saw one yesterday, genuinely saw one yesterday as I was uploading the last video, you know, part 1, of somebody with a similar problem, but it was backwards. He'd fitted a hybrid turbo to his car. Well, no, he'd got his garage to fit a hybrid turbo to his car, took it to get mapped, 19 TDI of course, took it to get mapped, and they're like, oh, it's got no boost, and it made about 120 brake and they couldn't map it. It's got no boost. It's like, why hasn't it got any boost? They didn't tell him. They didn't even seem to know or care. But it's like, if your turbo ain't got no boost, it's not likely the brand new turbo, even if it's the shittest turbo going, it'll still make fucking boost. It's gonna be 99.9% of the time the boost controller or the actuator or the mapping, and anyone can check that. So how these fucking tuners, mappers, can just send somebody away with, oh, your turbo's not working, it's not making any boost, without sort of finding out why, or indeed fixing it, because it'd probably take fucking 5 minutes, is beyond me. But you know my opinions of the tuning scene in general, and this 19 TDI scene seems almost worse than any. I don't know. Anyway, hope you like the video. Like, comment, subscribe, you know, the usual shit. And I'll see you next time with hopefully either this car working or my car working, because my car, well, it'd probably be running by now if it weren't for me spending fucking hours playing with this just because it bugs me, even though it's not my car. Anyway, see you later.